Hello, I'm Audrey, and today I'm celebrating turning 30. I've got a story to tell about how I became a millionaire, all thanks to two incredibly selfish people. It just goes to show, karma has a way of catching up with those who wrong others. I first crossed paths with my husband, Gavin, on a work trip organized by our company. We were both leading different departments, but we had never met before. The trip had a mix of activities, including games and sports. During a volleyball match, I ended up injuring my ankle. Gavin immediately rushed to help me, picking me up and carrying me to the infirmary for first aid. His kindness really stood out to me, and I wanted to get to know him better. After the trip, I reached out to Gavin, inviting him to grab a coffee. He agreed right away, and we set up a time to meet at a cafe nearby. Our conversation flowed easily, covering everything from the trip to our personal interests and families. We discovered we had a lot in common: the sports, TV shows, and hobbies. Gavin mentioned how close he was to his mother, Meg, and how he visited her at least twice a week. He said, "I've always been really close to my mom. We make sure to see each other at least twice a week." I responded, "That's really nice. I'm glad you have such a strong bond with her. What about your dad?" His expression changed, and he replied, "Well, he left us a few years ago, and we don't really keep in touch." I asked, "Is everything okay between you two?" "It's complicated, Audrey. Let's just say it didn't work out." "What do you mean?" "He's your father, not a boyfriend." "Yeah, but he wasn't very helpful, so my mom and I ended up leaving him." "Not helpful? How? Financially or emotionally?" "Look, we have a lot of other things to discuss. Can we just move on?" "Oh, of course. I didn't mean to pry. I just wanted to know you better. We can talk about something else." I didn't think much of it, assuming it was just a touchy subject for Gavin. I believed he would open up more as our relationship grew. Over the next few weeks, we met up a few more times and, soon enough, I was having lunch with him every day at work. We grew close, and things became serious. With Gavin's birthday approaching, I decided to throw him a surprise party. I enlisted our friends to help with the planning and guest list. Since Gavin was so close to Meg, I thought it would be nice to invite her as well. I wasn't sure about inviting his father, so I decided not to, thinking it would keep the focus on Gavin's special day. The big day arrived, and I had everything set up at Gavin's apartment: decorations, cake, and food. The guests began to arrive, and everyone was excited for Gavin to show up. Just before he was supposed to arrive, a woman in an elegant green evening gown appeared at the door, holding a designer handbag. I approached her and introduced myself. "Hello, I'm Audrey. You must be a close relative of Gavin. It's a pleasure to meet you. How do you know him?" Finally, someone with manners. "I'm Meg, Gavin's mother. And yes, I'm the most important guest here. He's my son, after all." "Of course, Meg. I didn't mean to offend you. Gavin always speaks so highly of you. Please come in and make yourself comfortable. I hope you've done a good job planning this party. I've worked hard for this, and our friends have helped out. I hope you appreciate it." "I'm sure it's wonderful. I've just been trying to make sure everything goes smoothly." "I expect nothing less, but don't forget, he's my son, and I expect to spend time with him today." "Of course, Meg. I understand how important your relationship with him is." However, Meg wasn't impressed with anything I did. She loudly criticized the decorations and even insulted the other guests. I remained polite, hoping she would come around. As I heard Gavin's car pull up, I went outside to greet him. The surprise party went well, and Gavin was thrilled with everything. We cut the cake, exchanged gifts, and celebrated. Meg, however, insisted on being in every picture with Gavin, even those with just the two of us. She claimed her gift was the best, and that Gavin would love it more than anything else. To my surprise, Gavin didn't stop her. Instead, he made sure she was always by his side. During dinner, Gavin stood to make a toast, thanking everyone for being there. He then said he had an important announcement to make. Before I could even react, he knelt down, pulled out a ring, and asked me to marry him. I was overwhelmed with joy and tears, and immediately said yes. The room erupted with cheers, but I noticed Meg stood up and left the table. Confused, I pointed it out to Gavin. "Sweetheart, your mom left the table. Should we check on her? She might be upset." Gavin responded, Why does it matter? This is our decision, isn't it? I get it. But I talked to my mom about important things like this. We're really close, and her opinion matters to me. I know she's important to you. But shouldn't this be about us? We should make decisions together. I understand, but I can't ignore her. She means a lot to me. Can we go talk to her and ask for her blessing? I started to feel uneasy. I didn't think it was healthy to be so dependent on one's parents. But I let it slide because I loved Gavin and wanted his mother's approval as well. We searched the house but couldn't find her. Finally, we spotted Meg sitting alone in the backyard. We approached her, and Gavin asked for her blessing. She gave it reluctantly. Gavin apologized, saying, "I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't talk to you before proposing to Audrey. It just happened, and I thought it was the right time." Meg replied, "Well, Gavin, you always consult me about big decisions. I felt left out this time." "I know, Mom. I didn't mean to upset you. I planned to talk to you the next day, but the party threw me off." "I understand, but you should have found a way to talk to me before making such a big decision." "You're right, Mom. I should have, but Audrey has been amazing, and I wanted to show her how much she means to me." "I can see you love her, Gavin. Just remember to include me, especially for the big decisions." "I promise, Mom. I'll make sure we communicate better. You're a big part of my life, and I want you to be part of Audrey and my future. That's all I ask, dear." I decided to walk away from their conversation, feeling a bit uncomfortable. As I did, I overheard Meg telling Gavin that I wasn't good enough for him, that he should reconsider marrying me, that I wasn't pretty enough, and that I was only after his money. I pretended I didn't hear anything and moved on. Over the following weeks, we continued planning our wedding. Meg didn't help with any preparations but insisted I wear a specific dress and threw a tantrum when I wanted to pick my own. She also demanded that I contribute more than half of the wedding costs, saying I was lucky to marry Gavin and should contribute. I tried not to let it bother me, believing that once we were married, Meg would warm up to me. The big day finally arrived, and I was in the dressing room, surrounded by my bridesmaids and mom, getting ready. Everyone told me how stunning I looked in my wedding dress. Just then, I heard a knock on the door, and to my surprise, it was Meg. She was dressed in a white wedding gown. "Why are you in a wedding dress?" I asked. "Today is my son's wedding, and it means everything to me," Meg answered. "I decided to wear this dress to emphasize my importance as the mother of the groom." "I get that it's a significant day for you, but isn't it the bride's role to wear white? It might overshadow Audrey's moment," my mother pointed out. "That's not my problem," Meg replied. "Gavin is my only son, and I deserve recognition on this special day too." "Of course, Meg," my mother said, "but today is about Audrey and Gavin's love and commitment. It's their day." "I know that, but I'm just making a statement. My presence here matters just as much as anyone else's," Meg insisted. I was furious, but I kept my emotions in check to avoid ruining the day. The ceremony proceeded smoothly. We exchanged vows and rings, and it was emotional for both of us since we had long awaited this day. During the wedding planning, I asked Gav to handle the guest list. I noticed he hadn't invited his father, so I questioned him about it. He explained that his father had abandoned them and didn't belong at such an important event. I considered pressing the matter, but chose to drop it, not wanting to upset him further. The months following our wedding were pure bliss. We spent every moment together and began making plans to buy our own home. Gav and I had always dreamed of living together, but we decided to marry first before taking that step. We began searching for our ideal house, spending hours each day looking. One day, Gav called me at work. "Hey, babe, I'm really sorry, but I have a last-minute meeting. I won't be able to go house hunting with you today." "No worries, sweetheart. It happens. Don't stress about it. I can manage on my own." "Thanks for understanding. I'll make it up to you. I promise." "You better. Just focus on your meeting, and we'll catch up later. Love you." "Love you too." After work, I drove to the property. The house was on the 10th floor of a building under construction. When I arrived, the realtor told me that someone else had come in our name to view the property. Confused since Gav was tied up, I was stunned to see my mother-in-law Meg standing at the door, looking impatient. I asked her why she was there. I wanted to check if the house was suitable for my son and if there was space for me when I visit, she explained. Though I didn't want her involved, I let her come along to avoid causing trouble with Gavin. We started the tour, and Meg didn't stop criticizing the house, claiming it didn't meet her standards. By the end of the tour, I was frustrated and wanted to leave. The realtor stepped away to take a call, saying he'd show us more of the property when he returned. He also warned us to be careful since the house was still under construction. I wandered around, and as I was near an unfinished staircase outside, I felt someone kick my leg. I lost my balance and tumbled down the stairs. I couldn't move, feeling bruised on my arms and head. I looked up to see Meg smiling smugly before quickly turning and walking away. I was stunned, unable to comprehend what had just happened, and couldn't move for several moments. Eventually, I found my phone and dialed for an ambulance. As I was rushed to the hospital, I couldn't stop thinking about how Meg had intentionally pushed me. I had always been kind to her, and her actions left me feeling both heartbroken and enraged. At the hospital, I was treated and underwent several scans. I called Gavin multiple times, but he didn't answer. The painkillers made me drowsy, and I eventually fell asleep. The next morning, I tried calling him again. This time he picked up, but his response was not what I expected. Instead of concern, he was furious and accused me of lying. "I can't believe you're lying about this, Audrey," Gav snapped. "You expect me to believe my own mother pushed you down the stairs?" "Gavin, I'm not lying." Meg kicked me, and I fell. "She hurt me on purpose," I pleaded. "You're just trying to cover for yourself. My mom said you were being aggressive. She would never hurt you without reason," he replied coldly. "I can't believe you're taking her side over mine. She's been manipulating you," I cried. "Stop it. She would never lie to me. She's my mother. I thought you loved me and trusted me, but now I need to be with her. She's in shock from what you did," he said firmly. "You're picking her over me, Gavin, after everything we've been through?" I asked, heartbroken. "You brought this on yourself, Audrey. Maybe you deserve this," he said, with no empathy. I was crushed. Tears welled up as I ended the call, feeling devastated. For the next 2 days, I was numb. My injury began to heal, and my parents visited, shocked by Gavin's reaction. My father suggested I look into Gavin's father, suspecting there was more to the situation. Taking his advice, I hired a private investigator and contacted Gavin's estranged father, Neil. At first, Neil didn't recognize me, but once I explained, he understood the situation. I divorced Meg and left because she and Gavin were using me for my money. Gavin even tried to steal my company by transferring ownership to himself, Neil confessed. "Oh my God, I had no idea. That's awful," I gasped. "It was a hard decision, but I had to put a stop to it. They've always been up to no good," Neil warned. "Thank you, Neil. I trust you, and I'm so grateful for your help," I said. "I have a plan. I need you to get Gavin and Meg to meet you at the hospital tomorrow morning," Neil said. "Why do you want them here?" I asked, feeling uneasy. "I need to confront them. They can't keep hurting you. It's time they face the consequences," Neil said decisively. Though I feared seeing Meg and Gavin, I knew I had to trust Neil to get the justice I deserved. I called Gavin and told him I had a special gift for both him and Meg as an apology. I made it sound expensive to ensure they'd come. When they heard expensive, they quickly agreed to visit the hospital the next day. Neil arrived with flowers, and I thanked him for his support. Just as we finished talking, Gavin and Meg walked in. They froze when they saw Neil. "Neil, what are you doing here?" Gavin demanded. "I couldn't sit by and let you both manipulate Audrey anymore," Neil said sternly. "Manipulate? We didn't do anything wrong. She's the one causing problems," Meg shouted. "That's a lie. Audrey has been through so much because of you two. It ends now," Neil said, unwavering. "Dad, you're ruining everything. Audrey and I love each other," Gavin shouted. "I divorced your mother because of you. Gavin, you tried to steal from me. I won't let Audrey face the same fate. These are divorce papers, so Audrey can be free from your toxic influence," Neil said, handing Gavin the papers. Meg snatched them and screamed when she saw the $40 million inheritance meant for Gavin was now going to me. Gavin and Meg started arguing with Neil, then begging him to change his mind. Neil stood his ground. "You both deserve this for what you've done to an innocent person." He called hospital security, and they were forcibly escorted out. After everything, I felt a sense of justice. I had endured so much, but now I had my revenge. I remained grateful to Neil, who had helped me end this nightmare. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Stay stunned.